Hello, my fine Math 4 honor students. Here's some hints for Unit 1, Lesson 4. So they're talking about quadratic functions, and any quadratic function can be written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. But they're asking you to change this to two separate functions, one of which g of x is ax squared and h of x is bx plus c. So trying to get you to think about how each of those components of the full function might relate to what the function graph and equation looks like. So it says if you have a calculator or computer software, well, you can just use Desmos. Comes really handy. Use slider tools. So I showed you that in the last video, but I can show you again for this particular problem. So I put in here y equals ax squared, y equals bx plus c, and then the full equation y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And I'm going to go ahead and add all of those sliders. Okay. Now, you can turn on and off any graph. So right now it's showing all three of the graphs, but I only want to look at the first two for a second. So I can click on that and the blue graph will go away. So this is what happens to ax squared when you change a. So think about what's going on there. And this is what happens to bx plus c when you only change b. And this is what happens to bx plus c when you only change c. So thinking about those elements and components and how they change, and see how that will change your final function. So if I turn those off and turn this guy on, this is my actual function. You can see the difference between how B and A affects that graph and C is affected by that graph, or C affects that graph rather. And then if you want to turn these back on again, you can kind of play with the A, B, and C. So that's pretty much my only hint for this, because that's what the question is asking you to do. Just use those tools. And now try to, in part B, explain the pattern that you discovered in part A as effect of those two functions being added together and how that affects your final graph. Have fun.